Hello, everybody, and this is a brief introduction to episode 114, where we asked Jerry to continue his thoughts on fragility and the way that presents to us in life. So, I am going to come over to Waldorf and Sadler up there. I'm actually inviting. Jerry, do you want to speak to us a little bit about that fragility and the grief that comes with seeing life as a fragile thing that needs perhaps more care invested in it by all of us?
It's you.
Yeah, well, a good lead-in. Thanks, Alec. It's like me and Brett, we're in a men's group together, and we get caught in. I get caught in as soon as I sit in there each week. I mean, Alec, you've been there. I get stuck in a program, right? Thinking I need to get into a check-in of what I've been doing, how my life is going. Like it feels like a distraction. Like what happened last week? What happened last? And there's a part of me that wants to drop into, well, what I'm really feeling about life. And I'm in a good place, so don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm tired or burnt out of life. I mean, but I just sometimes want to talk about, and I have a hard time accessing it in a group because when I'm surrounded by a group of guys, I feel like, okay, everybody's got so much going on. It looks so good, or families, and everybody's progressing. And my life is emptied out in many ways where I'm just trying to drop more into what I'm feeling. And I'm starting to feel more or less, we could call it, whether it's grief, just old relationships. I mean, some friendships have fallen away because I can feel my vibration shifting. I'm not saying that my vibration's any higher or lower. I just am changing, and I don't have the capacity to have the kind of conversations I used to have. So I'm more quiet than I used to be. So my whole surroundings and my relationships are changing, and I find myself having to just trust that, surrender into it, and let go of situations in my life or distractions or relationships that I held on to and I was holding on to because, like, man, I can't lose another deep connect, or what I thought was a deep connection. But as I change, we're no longer vibrating at the same level. So I'm trusting more of an emptying out, even more so than I ever have. And I'm finding it to be very evolutionary and transformational, and at the same time, not easy, accepting the fact that we're getting older and watching people around me disappear. But I do believe that it's okay to allow the process to happen. And I think I'll start saying yes to more opportunities in the future or going out, as opposed to what's happening now. That's all. And I just think, when in our group we have older men who are struggling with some health issues, to bring up the issue of, well, we're not going to be here forever, and our health, and I don't want to trigger them, but I think it needs to be talked about at times because that's just what I'm feeling, and I don't want to cover up with superficial conversation, right? And you're talking about burnout, and that could be part of burnout from life. And I just try to keep my practices. I do a little meditation. I make sure I stay grounded. I make sure I take care of my health. Having too much time on my hands sometimes can burn me out. And then I hear like you guys sharing about everything that's going on. And I recently I went back and got my commercial driver's license, but it got me to focus for a short period of time, like 2 or 3 months on something. And boy, that changed everything. So, and now I've got that done and I'm back to having more free time again. And I'm getting more stressed again from all the free time and thinking I need to find something to do. So there's a party that wants to be back in the life I was in the corporate world of doing and distracting, but now I'm much more efficient and have a good self-care practice in place where if I was in that world, I'd know how to take better care of myself. I didn't know what boundaries were 10 years ago. I didn't know how to get myself out of a toxic relationship, or I was toxic in many ways, right? So just to get to this place at 58 and have changed so much and have gotten so much better and more clear, you can see so much more, but you also see how much of your life you kind of burnt through and what you had to lose to get to a better place. So now it's like, okay, what do I do from this space? And then you have so much more less time, but I can't let my mind project into the future saying, I've only got really 10 years, 15 years left in his body that can really keep moving, doing things. So it's just being able to stay present with oneself and knowing how good we have it right now in the moment and sit there and meditate on that. That helps me a lot because my mind can easily get distracted. My mind just always spinning. And when you get better, as soon as you start getting much better, you realize, well, time has passed and people are getting older and they're not going to be here much longer around you. And it's like, man, what is this all about? So I like to talk about that sometimes. Not that it's even a specific topic, but I think a lot of people, if I bring this up in a group, like last night, we're out with certain people hanging out, it's just not, you can't go there. Right? And I just don't have the capacity, like I said, to just drown myself in small talk the way I used to. So people want to hang out all the time, and that's okay. I get it. I like my downtime. I like my solitude. I don't want to get too comfortable in my solitude either. So
I think it's really important, though, that we have to have these conversations without giving two fucks about how other people are going to receive them, because that's the only way we can change the narrative. It's like, we have to keep talking about this, and you're uncomfortable because we don't talk about this, so we're just going to talk about this, and you can do what you do with it or not. But when we keep shying away from these kind of conversations, it doesn't help put the narrative, to change the narrative, to make people more comfortable to do it.
By shying away, that's your stuff.
Yeah, I think
the
so.
other person may really want to step into it. Go ahead, Gabby. What you got?
Yeah, two things. First of all, I think what I found out lately, because I'm very good in doing small talk and going deep very quickly, and I'm surprised how many people actually want to talk about this stuff but feel they can't. So it's like we're all tiptoeing around each other, and everybody thinks, yeah, but they probably don't want conversations like this. It's really, really interesting. I think a lot of people are much deeper than we actually presume, because if there's us, there's many more. It's simple as that. But the one thing really hit me there, Cherry, when you said, when I had something to do, I didn't really feel that burnout. The burnout comes when I have too much time. And I'm wondering how screwed is our nervous system, that our nervous system goes into a flight, fight, freeze reaction of stress when we have time on our hands, because we have learned over, well, in your case, 58 years, do, don't sit down, do. And when we step back, our nervous system goes like, oh my God, what's happening? Oh, I can't sit down. Oh, I have to do.
You know what popped out on me was when he said being stressed with free time. And I'm like, what?
Right.
What the fuck is this concept you're talking about? Like, what is wrong with you, man?
Erica, if you would have all the time tomorrow, that would happen to you, I bet you. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't think it would happen tomorrow. Give me a little bit more time. Like, to have some got some free time here to do nothing. Like, what? I get it though, because even when I intentionally choose to try to have free time, like I got to make time free now, there is always that background program of it's the pressures though, the internal. I should be doing this. I'm supposed to do this. I have no business sitting on my fucking ass when look at all this that has to be done. That internal loop of bullshit that goes on.
But that's the burnout. Sorry, Jerry. That is the burnout voice, because if you didn't have burnout, or you didn't have the pressures of all those things, you would be able to be a little bit more comfortably. But, you carve out a small space of time when you know that it's finite, in the sense of I'm back into the grind in 8 hours or come the next working day. That is not the same as, to go a bit neuroscience on us all, unless we are in a state of joy, we are still in an activated nervous system. So for someone like you, you are stuck in a part of the vagal nervous system that is in fight or flight, and 8 hours a week is not going to be enough. You could be talking months before you lose any idea of this nagging, oh, there's something else to be done, and even months might be too short. So I get what Gabby's saying, and I, kind of as well with Jerry, like maybe there's something else I could be doing. But the choice of I'm going to do that thing and invest a few hours or, a couple of weeks in a thing is very, very different. It also brings us connection because, we made the point earlier that you go out of working life, you often lose what you consider to be friendships, but are just really collegiate sort of relationships. And I think when we do start talking deeper, there's no problem with creating new friendships that allow that. And that's something that perhaps when we have more time to be and more time to reflect, you can sit back by a fire with certain people and get deep into conversation and find you make new friendships. I've got no doubt that were I able to be in Long Island for any amount of time, I would make friendships in Jerry and Brett's men's group because they're my sort of people. They vibrate, if we want to use that term, on the right sort of level. But you don't get time to make the new friendships if you're still in the constant loop of work and work and work. So, sorry, Jerry, I spoke over you and then I went into a monologue. So I apologise and come back to you.
It's okay. You said a lot of great stuff there, Al. I was just going to say that my nervous system, most of my life, up until about 15 years ago, I just worked. So now, and it took me 15 years longer to really do a lot of healing and shifting and changing. But now to still sit in stillness, I can feel the old conditioning, like I should be doing something, I should be doing more. That's how I was programmed from a kid. I grew up in a working family. So it's fascinating when you work so hard to just calm down your life, meditate, and create stillness that you still, even if you sit there, sitting with myself, boy, can I feel that inner angst. Like I should be doing something. You're judging yourself and you feel like you're going to die because you're not doing anything. So it's fascinating. The nervous system, that's what I've been really working, is learning how to heal my nervous system. And that's a lifetime of healing, but just based on traumas that we experienced when we were younger, all sorts of stuff. So it's a fascinating topic for me.
And it's really interesting because, I'm in Europe and I've been to Italy and more relaxed places where people, in the old days, back in the 80s, we were used to just doing nothing. We had the art of doing nothing where there was no pressure. Yeah, and that was okay. And you did it maybe for an evening and then you did something again the next day. This constant having to do something. And even nowadays, and that's a little bit my criticism with modern life, is that even the things we would like to do have all become a thing to do. And I said it before here, it's like even meditation or yoga has become part of this busy daily thing. Okay, I'm busy all day and then on Friday evening from 6 to 7, I do yoga. It's just a part of do another course, do another thing, do another healing thing. I'm doing a Reiki course now and I'm doing this. And even the activities which should help us relax the nervous system have actually now just become a tick box on the to-do list and is within the productivity.
That's a great point. I mean, that's why the mindfulness movement, even though that can become something too, but just being more mindful of what we're just being here now, as opposed to having, like you said, every yoga. And I got caught up in all that, having to do all these things at once, whether it's cold plunges, do my meditation, go to the gym, and that can burn you out. And you think you're taking great care of yourself, you're checking all those boxes of self-care, and that becomes more of a doing, a hyper doing. And in our culture today, I mean, it's just about being able to be here now with yourself and let all that go. But we go from I'm talking about myself. I've gone from one extreme to the other in the past. Now I'm getting better, but I'm still realizing my nervous system is still active. Even if I think I'm getting better, I still have a lot of work to do, a lot of settling to do. That's why the Alex conversation about the vagal nerve and all that is really important to me. And I just bought a book, Body Keeps the Score, and it's a really good book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder when you said in the last episode, I'm getting tired of life, or it feels like the entire life, it feels like burnout. If that's from there, because you're still in the I have to do list mode rather than, nah, I can really relax now and it's okay.
Right. And that's like our natural state of being. We're so distracted in today's world that we just forget, right? So even I just always think I'm supposed to be doing something to make myself better. Like make myself better. And that gets us away from this, which is really, we're right here. Everything's right here. So even if I think I'm going, I got to read this book or I got to go sit with this teacher to make myself better, even that's taking me away from being right here, which is everything, right? So even those positive distractions, we're so distracted by so much. I'm learning.
And I think,
even when I know this, I can still get distracted.
I think it's because once again, it's become an industry. You know, people talk about the personal growth and self-development industry. No, you know, it when we were talk, and you look at the 60s, you know, when people were going across to India and they were learning sort of transcendental meditation and chanting and these sorts of things, it wasn't being done as part of an industry. But everything in this current world we live in, certainly in the Northwest, is how do we monetize it? And because it becomes how do we monetize it, it's how are we taking money out of people? How do we make it something that they have to be doing? And, you know, there are tons and tons of really good resources out there already that you can tap into and don't have to be drawn into the consumer unit mentality of being someone who is on that personal growth self-development journey. We are all on that personal growth self-development journey, and we decide at what level we want to engage with it. And if you can't take a break, then you're not actually growing and healing. You're just on a different treadmill entirely, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, back in the 70s and 80s, on the weekend, we would go and have a walk in the forest with a friend, have a good chat, sit down, because we know it was good for us, was good for the body, was good mentally, and you just went for a walk with your friend in the forest. Now people pay people to bring them forest bathing. Seriously? Seriously? Are you for real? That's what industry does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. I think before we get Erica joining in with Brett and Jerry up there, we perhaps take a break and see if we can get her reconnected. So, any closing thoughts from anybody on this one? So we've been around the block as we frequently do, but fragility of life. Where are we in terms of the grief that comes with abandoning the things that we love in order to be part of a productive society? Anybody want to wrap us up with anything?
I guess I will say take a chance on saying those things that you judge to be too much for people to handle, or like, oh, I can't say that because of whatever that is. And take a chance on seeing where it actually goes and do an experiment, right? Because that person may be really wanting to go there, but might feel like, well, I don't want to talk about it with them because, you know, they don't want to talk about that stuff, and they have the same feeling like that nobody wants to talk about it, but everybody does. So get out of your own way, right?
Yeah.
Do an experiment. Take a chance. Take the risk. Life is short.
Yeah.
I just want to say it's nice to be seen and heard, to be able to express these kind of things with others. And then what that does right away is it releases any type of, maybe for me, compressed or repressed energy I've been holding on to, and to be able to just say, tap in subtly to what I expressed and what you guys are expressing makes me feel more expanded and better, right? So sometimes it's just about having a simple conversation of more truthful and authentic things that can help heal us. So that's at this stage of my life, everything I've experienced, that's all I want, right? Is to be seen and heard by others who can resonate, and boy, does that change everything for me. And those I'm sitting with usually. So thank you for doing this today.
You're welcome.
I
We hope
think,
you'll hang on. Go on, Gabby.
I think I'm just going to take a step back from everything which is going on and just say, let's live, let's take a step back and mentally live in the 80s again, purposefully. And just step back from this productivity thinking all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it may be a little bit of golden era thinking for me, but, you know, as a child and a younger man, when we had half day closing on a Wednesday and the shops shut at Saturday lunchtime, and people, you know, knew that Sunday there was not going to be any shopping, there was not going to be anything else. You know, I'm not going religious here in the sense of a day of rest, but that's not something that's promoted anymore. You know, and a day of rest without necessarily having any spiritual connotation, although more than happy if you, as our listeners, want it that way. But actually program that in. If we can think of the ways that we can take a step back, you know, it's like Gabby was saying in the other episode about distancing oneself from, you know, the demands of a job. You know, if we take time, deliberate time, to spend with those that we love, that we care about, it can do nothing but improve our state. Erica, we're just wrapping up
Yes.
for this episode. The bit
Just
of it
what?
that you... we're just wrapping this one up.
Got it.
Okay, so thanks everyone. We will be back with another episode soon.
I have no
Cheers.
closing thoughts. I hope it was a good